You're listening to PetLifeRadio.com.
It's Vegas. It's rock. It's dogs. It's Vegas Rock Dog Radio. A rock and roll show all about pets, people, and pop culture. Stand by for great guests and cool advice. All in one rockin' hour. The phone lines are open at 702-483-4444. That's 702-483-4444. Now, let's bring on the host. Here is the rock and roll queen of dogs, Sam.
Good morning. Coming to you live from Las Vegas. It's Vegas Rock Dog Radio Show, a rock and roll show all about pets, people, and pop culture. Today's going to be a great show, and I got a great guest that's going to be speaking with us today. And I got a little catch-up to do on my past week. Oh, I'm still exhausted from it, but you'll find out why. And before we get started, let's tell everybody how to find us. So, go to the internet and go to our website. It is VegasRockDogRadio.com. And all our links are on there for everything else that we do. But if you're a Ustream person, and we are streaming live, and yep, we're looking good, you're going to hop over to Ustream.tv. And the channel is Vegas Rock Dog, and the show is Vegas Rock Dog Radio. So we're live, and Facebook is Vegas Rock Dog Radio. All our links today will be popping up during the show, so anything we mention or that my guest mentions will be there on that page. So you can always have that to go back to for reference. And our Twitter account is Vegas Rock Dog Show, no W at the end. I love my Twitter people, I have to tell you, because I've been on Twitter since the beginning of time, and people love to interact on Twitter. They love to interact, and people don't moan on Twitter. But not on my business page on Facebook. People don't moan on that, but you know how it is. But that's what I love about Twitter. It's very positive. It's very quick. It's very simple. People want to engage. I just love it. It's my favorite social media platform. So our Twitter is Vegas Rock Dog Show, no W at the end. My big account on Twitter is Vegas Rock Dog. That's the one that I've been on Twitter since the beginning of time with, and that's Vegas Rock Dog. It's very, very simple. And as I say, you're listening live from Las Vegas, and we're broadcasting from VegasAllNetRadio.com, part of Lotus Broadcasting. Our Instagram account, I've been a little lax on the Instagram. I've been rather busy, but I have a ton of new pictures that are going to go up, and the Instagram account is Vegas Rock Dog. And I'm going to be putting pictures up of what happened to me this past week. If you want to pick up some rock and roll clothing for you and your dog, it's VegasRockDog.com. And it's funny because it just dawned on me yesterday. Next year, we will have had our clothing line for 10 years, which is, I have no idea where that time went. But that's where it started. This whole thing, we wouldn't be doing radio now if it wasn't for that. In fact, we wouldn't be doing this whole thing if I didn't get my dog Galaxy. She really was the inspiration for everything. So VegasRockDog.com is where you're going to pick up clothing for you and your pet. Got some accessories, got some new stuff on there. We got some really nice pet bed covers, and some cell phone covers, and we've got lots of new things coming out. So you can head on over there, do a little shopping. And our blog is the rockandrolldog.com. I'll be going to be doing a big blog post. And Google Plus, you're going to find me at Sam Ratcliffe. And of course you can find Vegas Rock Dog on there. You can find Vegas Rock Dog Radio on there. And my main site for myself, because you sometimes in those situations people say, what do you do? And you're like, ugh, where to even begin, or what bit shall I tell them that relates to them? So you can go to my personal website, which is SamanthaRatcliffe.com, and that's RATCLIFFE.com. So I wanted to do a tip of the week before I bring my guest on, and I stopped doing this a long time ago for a couple of different reasons. Dryer sheets. If you're someone that uses dryer sheets, you need to know that once they get heated up, they are very, very toxic to animals and to us. We don't need to be breathing in anything that that goes into the air from dryer sheets that heat up in your dryer. So not only do they release dangerous chemicals into the air, they're very dangerous when left lying around. Dogs especially, you drop anything, they think it's theirs, so they will chew on them. And if they are ingested, they can actually kill your dog or very severely damage their kidneys. And that's dryer sheets. You just don't think, oh my gosh, that could be dangerous. If it happens to your dog, of course, you would just go immediately to your vet and induce some vomiting for your dog. And remember, if you induce vomiting for your dog, you don't induce vomiting for everything. If you've had a dog that's swallowed, say, bleach, you do not want to induce vomiting because they'll get a secondary burn. So you need to be very, very cautious of induced vomiting. Generally, if you'll call your vet, they may tell you to do it straight away and how to do it. That's important. Make sure you always have that information close at hand and get yourself off to the vet straight away with those kind of things. But basically, think about not using dryer sheets for the sake of everyone's health, that's you and your pets, and look to an alternative. So I know people going, what on earth am I going to do to make my towels soft? So what I use is, I don't even really know what they are. They're dryer balls. They're plastic. They have little spikes on them. I guess it's a little bit like putting the tennis ball in the dryer, which you probably shouldn't do either. But these are specifically for laundry, and so we're not using any chemicals. And let me tell you something. I don't notice a single bit of difference from not using dryer sheets, and I stopped using them long time ago. So that's my tip of the week. If you're still using them, make sure they don't drop on the floor. And think about how much safer it would be for you and your pets to just eliminate them entirely. And I've kind of gone that direction anyway. My floors only get steamed with hot water. We don't use chemicals on the floor because we've got hardwood floors. We try and keep it as chemical-free as possible. It's just better for all of us, really. So I thought I'd do a little update on my week. Oh my gosh. So I mentioned last week, because I was by myself last week and did the whole show on traveling with your pets, which I do a lot. But I had not travelled with 3 dogs since getting Mr. Twix, added to the chocolate trio, as we like to call them, Galaxy, Thornton and Mr. Twix. I'm still tired from it. But here's the thing. When someone tells you going from 2 dogs to 3 is nothing, they're not telling you the truth. They're probably having a little laugh in the background there. Aside from, walking 3 dogs is a little bit more difficult, or having to split them and do twice as many walks a day. You could think of those kind of things, but traveling is a whole different story. So for me, it was, we've got to go get another seatbelt for my 3rd dog. I have to take extra dog beds now with me when I travel. The packing's the same though, your food, your bowls and all that good stuff, your first aid kit, and, just being very well planned. It really eliminates a lot of stress. And so what we did is we went down to Carlsbad, down on the coast in California, which we love. Pet-friendly place, La Quinta, which we've been a lot. And what I love about them, there's no pet fees and there's no cleaning fees. And you're probably thinking, ooh, the rooms are gross. But they're not. I can't stay in a gross room. My dogs can't stay in a gross room. But it's very, very pet friendly. It is very close to the beaches, and off we went down there. Travel down was fairly easy. Galaxy doesn't like the wind, so if you get a little bit of a crosswind on the highway, she starts to get scared. So our next step is going to be the thunder jacket, because we've tried everything else. So and not pandering to her either. A lot of people want to hug and kiss them. Oh, you're okay, and they think, oh, they like this behavior, I'll continue doing it. So it doesn't really help much, because you kind of get them thinking that it's okay. They get cuddles and hugs for being frightened. So you got to think about that too. But and we did lots and lots of stops on the way down. Of course, you just have to do that. It's as simple as that. A big concern for us, because we don't have a problem with flea and tick here in Las Vegas, thank goodness. But I do have a problem with putting chemicals on my pets. So I actually couldn't find in town any natural remedies at all that you could buy. And I've used my own when I've gone up to Mount Charleston, but I wanted to be able to just buy something, that made sense, that was all natural, non-toxic, organic, all those good things. So on our way down, we drove straight down to Solana Beach, and we went to Mutt Metropolis, great store in Solana Beach. It's all pet friendly down there. It's great. And they had what I was looking for. And so what we picked up was a flea and tick spray by Dancing Paws Pure Botanicals. And, it's got sage extract in it, eucalyptus, fennel seed extract. So all the things that I understand and are not absorbed into the skin. Basically, they go onto the fur and they repel fleas and ticks. Really important. Of course, yeah, you have to reapply, but I'd rather do that than squeeze, some chemicals between their shoulders and get that absorbed into their bodies. It's not the direction we like to go in. It smells amazing. I have to tell you that. It smells absolutely amazing. And then we also picked up a flea tick shampoo, similar kind of thing, but this was from Richard's Organics, again, all natural. So this was my first port of call, as they like to say, to pick up something that was safe for them. And just be careful when you spray it. It's not around their faces. That's important. So we were down there the plan was to be down there for longer than 3 days, but we ended up coming back a little bit early because, of course, Mr. Twix, having only lived by himself in the desert, he's got a ways to go as far as being socialized. So, you have to do it. You can't just avoid these situations. So off we went, and Mr. Twix decided he would bark at everybody and everything. Everything. We went on the beach. They loved the beach, but they hated the kids. They hated the other dogs. They hated runners. They hated people that were sunbathing. They hated basically anyone that was on the beach, whether it was 2 legs or 4 legs. It was not fun, I tell you. I love being on the beach, and once it got me in the water and a little bit distracted, it was great. But oh my Lord! And then we happened to be put, because we always request, can we be on a top floor away from stairs and elevators, because we don't need the extra noise, to trigger anything. But oh no, we were next to screaming kids, so of course they're going to react. They complained about us, and I said, to be fair, they actually weren't barking in the room until the kids started screaming, because we're near Legoland, so they're all going to Legoland, So instead of, I guess denying it, we went down there and just said, hey, we are surrounded by a lot of very noisy children, a lot of screaming. Obviously first thing in the morning, they're getting up and getting ready to go, and then they're gone all day, and then they come back and scream at night. So we did have some barking. They finally calmed down, but it did trigger, with Mr. Twix barking, it triggered my other 2, who are not normally like that. So I think it's probably the most exhausting trip I've ever done. Ever done. And it's almost like they were like, okay, this is going to be the barking holiday, and we'll bark the whole time, whether we go for a coffee or we sit on a patio for food. So, and I can't do that to other people. No one wants to hear that, So as much as that when you're doing a dog holiday, you're definitely limited in what you can do, where you can go, we were a little bit more limited than normal. So on the way back, this is where the saga just continues, We decide we want to come through Temecula, which is great. It's all the buildings are old. It's fantastic. So, and we've been there before. So there we go. And we get a root beer float and blah, blah, blah. And then what we call a Sally Sat-Nav. Yeah. Our navigation system was Sally Sat-Nav. I don't know. I think Sally's going senile. Sally Sat-Nav is going senile, because what should have taken us 4.5 hours to get home took us 9 hours. So it was not fun. We ended up at one point 25 miles away from Big Bear Lake, and then we were near Palm Springs. I'm like, oh, I cannot believe this sat-nav lady. This is a nightmare. And then when you're driving, you lose connection because you're in the middle of nowhere. So it was quite the saga. We became quite delirious. Our dogs for once were quiet because they were bored out of their brains and just went to sleep. But it was a 9-hour trek to get back from the coast, which was ridiculous. So I will be doing a very long blog post. I have some fantastic pictures, which will imply we had the most wonderful time. But, we always enjoy ourselves, but it was a little bit more stressful, and we knew it would be. But we're hoping our next trip down there with more trading with Mr. Twix will make things calm down a little bit, and LaQuinta are okay with us coming back. So that's all I really care about. Because when you look at a lot of these hotels, they're charging a lot of money for pet fees, and they're charging a lot of money for cleaning fees. So you've got to think about that. And probably what I'll do next time is rent a house next time, a little beach place, because that way they can park in the house and not going to disturb anyone. So, and it gives us the freedom to go out and have dinner and those kind of things. But, when you're in a hotel room, you've got to take them with you. If you've got little barkers, you can't leave them in there. So it was kind of a saga, but I say I got some great photographs. The dogs love the beach. Mr. to Twix, first time on the sand. He brought most of the beach back with him and just had the greatest time. So people might think we're crazy, but, you know, be with your dogs is just a good thing. You know, we really enjoy it. So that was our trip. But we do need another trip now. we need to go somewhere on our own. That's what we need to do, and just be quiet. But it'll feel weird, I'm sure of it. So that was my my very, very exciting past week. And as I say, I'm still recuperating. So I think what we'll do, Chris, let's take a quick break. Let's listen to some words from our sponsors. I wait to listen out for our new commercial for our big fundraising event that's coming up. And after the break, we are going to speak to my fabulous guest. And we'll be right back. So we're going to listen to some words from our sponsors. And you'll listen to Sam, the Queen of Rock and Roll Dogs, on Vegas Rock Dog Radio. We'll be right back.
We'll be right back, right after these messages. Stay tuned.
Pet Life Radio, the #1 pet radio network on the planet, joins forces with iHeartRadio to put the power of your pets in your pocket. Awesome. Download the iHeartRadio app and rock Pet Life Radio on your phone, on your tablet, on your Xbox, in your car. Pet talk, pet tunes, and fun pet times. Pet Life Radio and iHeartRadio. Positively Possum.
It's dinner time in America, where more pet parents trust PetSmart for natural and expert-recommended foods than any place else. And now, we've added more than 100 new varieties to our already wide selection of your favorite brands, like Simply Nourish, Authority, Wellness, Science Diet, and more. Do what's best for your pet. At PetSmart, happiness in store.
Go to PetSmartDeal.com to find out this week's coupon code and save up to 30% on food, treats, toys, and more. And get free shipping on orders of $49. Go to PetSmartDeal.com. PetSmartDeal.com.
It's the first annual Rock in the Rough charity golf and social event. Join us Saturday, August 9th at Spanish Trail Country Club. Golf registration begins at 6 a.m. with a shotgun start at 7:30 a.m. Don't golf? The social event ticket for you begins at 12 noon. Join us for lunch, raffles, auction items, entertainment, and more. All proceeds will benefit 4 very worthy charities. For more information, go to rockintherough.com. That's rockintheruff.com. Brought to you by Vegas Rock Dog and Rockin' for Rescues.
Let's Talk Pets on PetLifeRadio.com.
Now, let's return to Vegas Rock Dog Radio. Here again, your host, the rock and roll queen of dogs, Sam.
Okay, and we're back. You're listening to Vegas Rock Dog Radio with me, Sam, your host, the queen of rock and roll dogs, the exhausted queen of rock and roll dogs. After my vacation with the three monkeys, as we like to call them. Got a great guest coming on the show right now. I was very fortunate to be a guest on this podcast series with Paws To Talk. And that's how I connected with my guest today. And a few months later, maybe even longer than that, we finally got to meet the Big Pet Bloggers Conference. Gosh, I loved that. I connected with so many great people that I'd already kind of made friends with virtually. Do you know what I mean? My guest today is Margo Ahlquist, and she's my guest. And her blog, Paws To Talk, it started off as an advice blog and has grown into a life coaching business and a hub for dog lovers to get life support on an array of topics. And I want to welcome Margo to this show. Are you here, Margo?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
I can. You are so patient, but I had to get my crazy story in of 9 hours in a car with 3 dogs.
I enjoyed listening to it. What a saga, huh?
And you know what? My life is pretty much like, there's nothing run-of-the-mill, nothing normal. Can't just go on vacation and just have a normal time. I mean, just ridiculous when you think about it. But this is, as I say, the pictures are great. It's going to imply that we had the most stress-free time ever. Yeah, it's all a facade right now. So I want to know, before we even get started, what Bella and Dee Dee are doing this morning. They're your 2 dogs.
Oh, well, you know, I actually have to update that part of my website, and my website is getting in September a refurbishment. But so I have Bella, Dee Dee, and Toby. So
you got another
right
one.
Now, everyone is taking a nap.
No, but I don't know where you are right now. What part of the country are you in?
Right now, I'm just outside of Boston, so I'm on the East Coast. So everyone had their morning walks, and breakfast, and they're just taking an early afternoon nap. So that's what everyone's doing.
We can learn a lot from our dogs, can't we? If I just copied what my dogs did every day, I would be so relaxed.
True. So true, isn't it?
I mean, I don't have to battle with myself about going to the gym because we just go and walk. We don't think about it and we love it.
I know. They're so smart. They just listen to their bodies so well.
Yes.
And, it's incredible. Even when I feed them, they won't, of course, every dog wants to get better treats and table scraps and whatnot, but, they even know when to stop eating. Sometimes, if they've had a light day and not much activity, they'll leave food in their bowl. They're just so good at listening to their bodies and themselves.
Dogs need to be trainers for humans, I'm thinking, because they probably look at us and go, they don't have it down. What's wrong with these humans?
I know, right?
So tell everybody before we get started, your website address, your Twitter, Facebook, wherever you are on the internet so everybody can find you.
You can find me at paws.com, and that's talk.com. And that's really the main, hub for everything. There you can get our Paws by Your Side products, which help with dog lovers get through, grief and lose the loss of their dog. You can find the blog. Our Twitter handle is Paws To Talk 1. We are on Facebook. I think it's facebook.com/Paws To Talk.
Great.
So just look up PAWS to talk, and you'll see everything that you need to find. And you'll also learn about some big things that we have coming up in the fall and September. We've got a big, refurbishment of the website, and we'll be offering some new features for our readers and website visitors.
That's great, because you know what? I think businesses like blogs or whatever website, nature of your business does change. I don't know many businesses that started off one way and stuck that way, because you really kind of have to morph with, the wants and needs. Or like I said, I started a clothing company and now we have a radio show,
Right.
So it's that kind of thing that, I think you have to keep it moving, keep it changing, keep it fresh. And like you say, you never know what opportunities are going to come along for you to be able to do some of those things as well. As I say, we started with a clothing line, and now here we are with a radio show. So,
oh no, it's so true. And I just have always loved dogs and loved the dog community. But I think the people that visit the site, because they've informed me about, hey, this doesn't exist, we'd like this, or I hold some calls around grief support for your pet, just sort of an open forum type thing. And it's funny, I learned just as much about what they want
right.
as they learn from maybe, talking to each other or talking to me, because I'm, a professional life coach and can help them move through things. But we learn from each other. So you're absolutely right. And the same applies to growing brands and blogs and everything. So it's really exciting, and I love it.
And it keeps your audience. I mean, I think that's really important, how to keep them engaged. It's very easy to, like you say, you're going to do a big revamp of the website. That's important too, visually. Oh, something fresh and new. It keeps people interested. It keeps them coming back. Because often I've heard people say, well, why would you change your website? Well, you kind of have to, you don't want to look like you're dated, you're stuck, you haven't changed, you're not adding new things. And I think that's what keeps people coming back. And obviously what you offer is really valuable, because not only you're offering, and I love your podcast, you've got a lot of them. How many are on your iTunes right now?
Oh, thank you, by the way. We had so much fun doing your show.
I know.
Back. Let's see. I think this week we just posted our 40th. So we started our 40th show. So we started in, it was like middle of November of 2013. So just about every week. We've missed a few weeks here and there, but, it's great, and I just am so lucky to be doing something and building something that I just truly love. I mean, I get out of bed every day, and I am so excited to just, get going on the projects that are happening and doing the podcast and connecting with people such as yourself. So, I mean, I'm just incredibly lucky to have found something that just drives me and is my true passion.
Well, the thing is, and I mean, just doing podcasts alone is work. it's just a lot of work. It's finding your guests, it's scheduling your guests, it's doing the podcast itself, it's editing it down, it's uploading it, it's and that's only one tiny thing of part of what you do, but I think it's a great piece of your puzzle, Paws To Talk puzzle, where I think your blog appeals to a lot of people. Now, let's talk about, which I think is very unusual, but not unusual at the same time. Life coaches, I think people are very familiar with what they are. It's not a therapist, although I'm probably sure you feel like that sometimes.
Yeah.
But it's like an accountability, isn't it? Of, ideas, how do we put them into place? Let's have some deadlines, have you done this? Keep you on track, keep you motivated. And you've found that you are working with a lot of animal lovers, correct?
Yes, that's right. So one of the first things that I added to Paws To Talk, from it when it started growing into a business was life coaching services, and we still have them, and is one of many things that we're building onto the brand. But right, a life coach is simply someone to get you moving forward with something, whether you've got one decision to make that you just keep going around and around about, or you find that you're in a place in your life where you just are not enjoying anything and you don't even know how you got to that place.
Yes.
So yes, my job as a professional life coach is to get you and move you onto a path that will bring you, more peace and more joy in your life. But on the flip side, my clients, they have to do the work too. They have to be wanting to do it as well. It's not just like we have a call and I give some ask questions and we come up with some advice and a plan. Clients on the other end have to be able to execute and want to execute. But when it works, it's one of the best things, and it's such joy. I mean, I myself, a couple years ago, was wanting a career change and a life change and everything, and consulted with a career coach, and I'll tell you, after a couple hours, it just really changed my thinking, and that's when I decided to go for my training and thought about, this little blog I started, it could maybe be something more. So that's it. Because
I think I think a lot of people can have the idea or the notion of doing something different or tackling this, but don't actually do it. It's in their head,
right.
And I think to have someone kind of by your side a little bit and say, listen, we can help you get in that right direction. There's nothing wrong in that, because sometimes we all need a big kick up the backside, as we say, And
yeah.
I mean, we do. I mean, I do it for my husband. I'm like, come on. Like yesterday, he's a professional musician and a producer, but he also has a master's in music and a bachelor's and master's in music. And he's had music students for a long, long time. But I'm like, finally, I got to drag him onto Facebook. I've got to drag him onto a blog now, and I've got to drag it. So I kicked his butt yesterday and held his feet to the fire. And today he's got nearly 100 likes on his Facebook page. And his first blog post went up there. So I said, we all need that, And like you say, sometimes you're like, I know I need to get out of this situation. I don't know how to do this. Somebody needs to give me a plan. I'll follow it through. Now, do you have many people that actually don't follow through? Because I would think if you're actually stepping forward and saying, I need a life coach or a career coach, that you are somewhat willing anyway, because you actually reached out for those services. But do you have many or just think, oh my gosh, this is too much hard work? I mean, do you have many like that?
Not many. What we do before we enter into any coaching work is, I have a complimentary, what I call discovery call with interested clients where, we just talk and see sort of where we are and if it's going to be a good, mix and match. But yeah, I mean, there certainly are some people that get into the process and get into our sessions, and it just becomes too daunting for them, or they need to take a step back or, and come back. And that happens. And you know what? That's okay. I'm here and, I choose the segment of people that I work with are typically dog lovers or animal lovers. It's because I like that, we have something to relate to, but also be, as I said before, those just have always been my people growing up.
Right.
You know, those are the people that I connect with the most. And so, I feel like sometimes, this population of people, we can be so into giving and helping others or helping our animals or, you know, helping children or whoever it may be, because oftentimes, you know, animal owners or animal parents are very selfless and very caring.
Yes, I would agree entirely on that.
Yeah, so this is that's one of the reasons why I chose the niche to bring, you know, life coaching to people who have dogs, and, you know, cat people are welcome too.
Yeah.
You know, and other animal people are welcome too, is to sort of, because if we can take better care of ourselves and get through our challenges, that only makes you know, our lives better, but it only trickles down to the animals that we have or the other family members that we have. It only makes everyone, you know, better.
I agree with you on that. I mean, how many times have we said, oh, you know, I'd love to watch this movie, but I've got to get my dogs out for a walk, you know, and it's getting late.
Right.
Or for us, it's like, got to get them out early because it's going to be hot, you know. You might not be able to go and get your coffee at Starbucks this morning. We just got to get these dogs out. I think it's you very easily fall into that. So I would see that your services most definitely bring balance as well.
Right.
But and you know what? You know who I think could, I was just talking to Chris about this. Was it Chris? I talked to somebody else this morning about this. Is anyone that works in rescue, because the balance is not there, and I see so many people burn out, have breakdowns, feel guilty if they take a break, and generally never take a break. But then they become isolated, almost a little bit obsessed, and then their life is completely out of balance. And I would think, gosh, I think in town we need kind of a help group, you know, or a help line. Well, people just call and say, oh my gosh, I feel so guilty. I'm just burnt out emotionally, physically, mentally, you know, from being in rescue. And I would think that life coaching would help that population in a big, big way.
No, you're so right about that. That's very true. Yes.
Because I've seen it. I've seen it. You can see it. You go, oh gosh, if they don't take a break, it's just not going to end very nicely, you know. And then it becomes this distorted view of what they're doing in rescue. And they can be very critical of other people once they get, when you're exhausted, you're not a nice person. You know, you're tired. Being compassionate is exhausting. And I read up a little bit about, there's a disorder. It's actually called a compassionate care disorder. Same symptoms as post-traumatic stress disorder. Exactly the same. Exactly the same. You know, and I think people just think, well, it's just related to people who go to war or those kind of things. But it's not, because, like, you know, we're seeing the worst of the worst, the best of the best, you know, in rescue. And that can be really, really rough on someone. And I just, gosh, yes. There could be another opening there for you, Margo.
Yes, absolutely. Well, you know, I have clients all over the place, you know, all over the world, because we typically, you know, work on either over the phone or over Skype. It's on a rare occasion that I will meet someone in person. So, you know, if anyone's interested, absolutely. But, it's so true. And I've been to that point, not as working in dog rescue, but, you know, just being incredibly burnt out and just feeling like, you know, not knowing what to do, which is why I thought, you know, there's got to be something else. And I know that there's other people going through this. So,
what I really like is it came from your own experience. And I love that. You know, you're like, I've experienced this. There was a great benefit to this. Now I'm going into this. And I love that, because you can talk from experience.
Yeah. You know, I have felt, you know, on the edge, burnt out, depressed, you know, and, you know, we've all been there, but if it's happening day after day after day, you know, which it was for me in my, as I say, my former life.
Because you worked in television, didn't you?
I did for about almost 9 years in New York City. Yeah, I was a producer and you know, I did a lot of great and exciting things, and I met a lot of incredible people. But you know, I started to get completely burned out, which is, I started on the side writing Paws To Talk, you know, as the funny little advice blog, advice coming from the mouths of my dogs. Right. And I just loved doing it so much. And I had a fairly decent following, you know, they loved it too. And I just felt alive doing that. And I felt just the opposite of it, going into the office or going on the road to produce something. So, you know, it took me a couple of years to transition and to decide what I was going to do. But yeah, it's a tough thing. It can be so difficult. There's a lot, to think about, when you're wanting to change your life like that, for sure.
And I think people need to know that it's okay to change careers and have more than one career in your life.
Sure.
It's fine. You know what I mean? It's just totally fine. And I think it is the thing that kind of re-energizes you. You change as you get older. You're like, what do I want to do? What's important to me right now? What am I enjoying right now? I think enjoying what you do is just key.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it is great to work. It is great to connect with animal lovers, because I should say we have this common bond anyway. And I would think when you do your life coaching that bond of, hey, we can talk about animals because we get it, actually probably drops walls down pretty quickly, which gets you quicker onto the task of, changing things in your life, because you're like, oh, I'm relaxed, so I trust this person, we relate, kind of thing. And I would think,
right.
And don't you love that it's become this niche? It's amazing.
Oh, I love it. Yeah, no, it's great. I mean, I love it. Paws To Talk is only really, I've been at full time at Paws To Talk just over a year now, and I can't, I love just the things that are growing from it, and the people I've worked with. It's just been such a great experience. But yes, a lot of people need help with this balance, this work-life balance, which is exactly what I was mired in and working on myself. And so, of course, when a dog or an animal factors in, we all know that we've got to wake up fairly early in the morning to let the dog out, and that the dogs need to be walked every day and played with and, fed and all that stuff. So it's, we're kind of, we're not starting from ground zero. I can relate because, I have dogs myself. So, we've got to factor that in. So, it's little things like that help. And I love, working with this community of people and, growing it even more. So,
well, what you're doing is like you found yourself at a point where you're not only now offering advice, and you've got your podcast, and you've got these live coaching sessions. Now we're going into the realm of products, and I really like your kit, Paws by Your Side kit. So I love it because it encompasses everything that you do. And it's genius. It's really genius. Tell us about what the kit includes, why you put this kit together.
Well, like a lot of longtime dog lovers, my childhood dog, Marty, was meant everything to me. And he passed away, it's about 9 years ago now, he passed away. And it was a very, I was just out of college, sort of in the working world, but it was just a very, very tough thing. It was like losing a person in my life, a family member. It was no different. So that, I didn't really know what to do because I didn't know if it was acceptable and, this group of friends to be sad about a 15-year-old dog who had passed away. And I didn't really know. It was kind of a no man's land for me. But it was very depressing. It was very sad. So the inspiration for the Paws by Your Side kit, the How to Cope with the Loss of Your Dog, a 21-day healing journey, comes from that experience. And it also comes from some anticipatory, things that I can see, like our Bella. She is, she's going to be 13 years old. She's very healthy. Right. But, seeing her slow down has really hit me hard over the past several months as well. So, so that's where the inspiration for the kit came from. I wanted to make something that, of course, it's not going to take away all the grief and the pain, but to help you and to know that you're not alone, but to give you something tactile and some activities to do in a way to start getting on a path to dealing with this loss instead of just floundering around, being depressed, not knowing if someone's going to laugh at you because you're so upset about your dog.
I think you've hit on something there, because it's true. I mean, it's always surprising some of the comments that you'll see when someone posts that they lost their pet, and then there's always someone that posts something very insensitive, like, oh, it's only a dog or whatever. And sometimes it's shocking because you think, wow, I can't believe that friend even wrote that, And I think, like you say, to know that you're not alone, and it's okay to feel the way that you feel. And you know what I really like is, like you say, you've got something you can actually, it's physical, and that is the bracelet. And I love that idea, and it's made out of copper. And I know copper has a lot of healing properties. I mean, they've used it in a medical way for many, many years. But like you say, it's a little bit like I love hypnosis. I'm that kind of girl. I love alternative kind of therapies and those kind of things. But I love the tapping techniques and stuff. And I would think that having that bracelet makes a difference. When you see something, you can relate and connect to it, which is going to be a positive thing about your pet. And that's what I liked about your kit, because this is 21 days. We know we don't get over this, not even in years sometimes.
No,
but it gives you I think a positive focus on you and your pet that you've lost, and I think that's really important. And it's kind of an exercise a day, and it keeps you on track, doesn't it? We'll keep you going. We're going to keep you positive. Think about the good things,
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, when I was the kit comes with an audio section, which is an audio which explains the day's activity and some motivation. It's about, each one is about a minute, 2 minutes long, and it goes right to your inbox. You activate it when you get the kit.
It's great.
And then there's an accompanying journal/workbook for each day and activity to sort of get you writing and processing more. And then, as you mentioned, there's the healing bracelet. But there's also a memorial dog tag, which you can use, if you want to use it as urn jewelry, if you want to put it on the collar of maybe perhaps a new dog or a new animal that you've added, all those things. So, but when I was thinking about this in the audio, I thought, I could just put a CD in the kit, but then I thought, if it's delivered to your, if they activate it and it's delivered to your inbox each day, I think people might be more apt to stick with it.
I would agree with that, most definitely. I would agree with that. I think you would be, you kind of look forward to the next one arriving, because if it's positive and it makes you feel better, then you're going to listen to the rest of it, Right. But I think all in all, and I mean, it's, I can't believe your price is just $44, because you're getting a lot emotionally as well from this, and that support. And then I said the bracelet and the charm. I just think it's a great kit, because we're going to have these links up, because I just think it's, I've never seen anything like it. And that's what I really, really liked. Well, listen, hang on the line there, because we're going to take a very, very quick break before we wrap up the show. Time goes very fast. But hang on, because we've got a couple of little announcements after the show, and then we'll close out. So stay tuned, everybody. We're going to listen to some words from our sponsors, and you're listening to Sam, the Queen of Rock and Roll Dogs, on Vegas Rock Dog Radio. We'll be right back.
We'll be right back, right after these messages. Stay tuned.
Dogs leave fur wherever they go. It collects all over the home. There are many tools designed to stop dog hair spreading, but their effectiveness varies, and afterwards you have to clean the tool, then the floor. With the Dyson Groom Tool, you simply deploy the bristles, then gently brush the coat. Loose fur is removed, while dead skin and allergens are captured by the vacuum. And to clean up, you simply release the trigger.
To get this awesome Dyson Groom Tool, go to DysonDeals.com. That's DysonDeals.com.
Hi, this is Jody Miller-Young from Bark & Swagger. Tune in for everything pet fashion and more. From fashion tips and runway trends, products and designs I love, to fabulous home decor for your furry friend, you'll find it all here. Be the first to discover the new. So what are you waiting for? Find me on Pet Life Radio. And remember, when fierce fashion calls, Bark & Swagger.
Every week on demand, only on PetLifeRadio.com.
Let's talk pets.
Let's talk pets
On Pet Life Radio.
Pet Life Radio.
PetLifeRadio.com.
This is Vegas Rock Dog Radio. Vegas Rock Dog Radio. The phone lines are open at 702-483-4444. Now let's bring back the host. Here is the rock and roll queen of dogs, Sam.
Okay, and we're back. You're listening to Vegas Rock Dog Radio with me, Sam, your host, the queen of rock and roll dogs, and my guest today is Margo Ahlquist of Paws To Talk. You're still here, Margo?
Yes, I am.
Oh, that's a relief. It's always a bit scary, you know. Did you meet Kevin Newman, that dog dancing guy from Australia at Blog Paws?
I did. I met him very briefly. Blog Paws was such a wonderful event in Vegas in May. It was a whirlwind at the same time. It was so
great.
many people. And
well, I had Kevin on the show, and he had to get up like 3 a.m.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I owe him. I owe him big time for that. Well, I just wanted to tell everybody about our big fundraiser that if me and Pam don't go grey by the end of it, it will be a miracle. Rockin' the Rough is August the 9th on Spanish Trail Country Club, and this is our big fundraiser, and it's a golf and social event. If you golf, we have a ticket for you. If you like to be a social butterfly and be indoors and eat and watch great entertainment, then you need your social ticket. So our Rockin' the Rough golf and social event is August the 9th, Spanish Trail Country Club here in Las Vegas. It's worth flying in for. And you can be a sponsor. It's where you can actually pick up sponsorship, where we advertise your business, of course, at the event, or you can do a sponsorship that includes golf. And you can golf and be advertised all over the event itself. Really simple, $175 for a single ticket for golf, and $600 for a team of 4 if you're just gonna golf and nothing else, and $50 for the social ticket, which let me tell you is underpriced, because when you see how fantastic this show is going to be, you're going to go, wow, for $50, and you get your lunch, you get a swag bag and all that good stuff. You get to hang out with me and Pam. And one of the great things we just got for our auction is a signed guitar from Robbie Krieger of The Doors. No joke. So we're going to have an amazing auction too. So the website is rockinttherough.com. Really easy. So we got a couple of minutes left. I want to say big thank you to our sponsors. Without them, the show would never happen. Oh no, I think Chris and I would still hang out every Saturday and do a show, even if we didn't have a show. Also, next week on the show, I have the group Free the Mojave Dolphins from the Mirage Hotel coming in studio. A great group doing some great work, making some great strides, but we need to help them so much more in people understanding why we have dolphins in the desert and why we shouldn't have dolphins in the desert. So we're going to talk about that. It's going to be a very interesting show. I want to say, how many minutes have we got left, Chris? Like 2, 3. Oh, here we go. So, this is how we like to close out the show. We like to say, remember, you can help a pet in need. Either rescue, adopt, donate, volunteer, or share their information on social media, because that's how most people get their next pet. Rescue your next family member. Replace the word shop with adopt, and be kind to all animals. Margo, I want to say it's been great having you on the show today.
Thank you. And it's been wonderful to be here.
Oh my God, I'm so glad I could reciprocate, because I came on your show, then we met Blog Paws, and we should have had some wine. We should have had some wine together, but wasn't it crazy?
We should have, yes.
But are you going to Nashville for the next Blog Paws?
I will be in Nashville.
Good. So we will drink some wine there.
Yes, we will.
We will make a date of that. I mean, it'll be a date not until May next year, but we will connect and meet up. I want to say a big thank you for you to come in on the show. I want my listeners to go to her website, pawstotalk.com, and sign up for our weekly Bark of Wisdom. It arrives in your inbox each week. It is so worth signing up for. It is so worth listening to all the podcasts too. I want to thank Chris, my producer, who makes the show run smoothly, and I would like to thank you, the listeners, for being a huge part of the show every single week. Today you've been listening to Vegas Rock Dog Radio, where it's all about pets, people, and pop culture. And I am your host, Sam, the queen of rock and roll dogs. And we always like to say, remember, you must kiss your pets good morning and good night. It's the best way to end the day, trust me. And we've got 1 minute left. What are your plans for the rest of the day, Margo? Just relax or work?
I've got a little work. I played hooky on Thursday and went to the beach, so I've got some work today. But yeah, then I'll see some friends later, and of course, lots of time with the dogs, quality time.
Absolutely. So. Well, Margo's website again is pawstotalk.com. Definitely check her out. All the links will be on Facebook. I want to say big thank you to you, Margo. I will see you in May.
Yes, thank you. It's been a pleasure being here. It's
been a pleasure chatting, finally. Thanks, everyone, for listening in. I want to have a great weekend, and we will see you next week. Thanks ever so much. Bye.
Let's Talk Pets, every week on demand, only on PetLifeRadio.com.